If you come into Greenwich with a $1 million budget expecting one thing, and then you come in with a 2 or 4 million expecting a linear upgrade, you're going to be surprised. Because in this market, your money does not scale the way most buyers expect. And that's where a lot of people get this wrong. They assume doubling their budget doubles the outcome. In Greenwich, Connecticut, that is not how it works. So what I want to do is walk you through what a $1, $2, and $4 million budget actually buys you here. Not just in terms of square footage, but in terms of location, lifestyle, and long-term value. Because once you understand that, your entire strategy changes. At around $1 million in Greenwich, you're entering the market. But you're not yet in what most people picture when they think of Greenwich. That's where expectations matter. At this level, you're typically looking at smaller single-family homes, condos, or properties that need a certain level of updating. Location becomes more flexible. You might be slightly further from the water, further from the village, or in areas where inventory turns over more frequently. And this is where I see buyers make their first mistake. They compare Greenwich at $1 million to what the same budget would get them in other parts of Connecticut or New Jersey. And they assume they are overpaying. But what you're actually buying here is entry into a very stable, very constrained market. You're buying access, you're buying positioning. And for a lot of buyers, this price point works best if you think long-term, not perfection today. But where the property sits within the market over time. So, a quick question for you here. When you think about your budget, are you optimizing the home itself or the location and long-term upside? That answer usually determines how well this price point works for you. Now, as you move into the $2 million range, the shift is noticeable, but it's not just bigger, it's more strategic. At $2 million in Greenwich, you start to see more balance. Diversified locations, more finished homes, properties that require less immediate work. Sometimes. And in some cases, access to more established neighborhoods. But this is where the market becomes more competitive, because now you're in a range where both local move-up buyers and New York City relocation buyers are very, very active. And this is where buyers misread value. They assume that because they're spending more, they have more negotiating power. In reality, at this level, you often have less, because you're competing with buyers who understand exactly what they're looking at. Homes that are priced correctly and positioned well at this level tend to move efficiently. So the question shifts from, what can I get, to how do I secure the right property without overreaching? And that's a different mindset. Now, when you step up to the $4 million range, you're now in a completely different segment of the Greenwich market. This is where location, privacy, land, architectural quality all start to align. You'll see larger homes, you'll see fine finishes, better proximity to the water or key neighborhoods, and in many cases, properties that feel more complete from day one. But this is where most buyers do not expect. The jump from $2 million to $4 million is not just about size or luxury, it's about scarcity. At this level, the number of truly well-positioned homes becomes more limited. And buyers competing here are not just comparing features, they're evaluating long-term hold value, location, durability, and replacement cost. That changes how decisions get made. You're no longer asking, is this nice? You're asking, does this make sense over the next 10, even 20 years? And that's where Greenwich tends to stand out, because the combination of proximity to New York City, limited supply, and consistent demand has historically supported value in a way that many surrounding markets do not. Question for you. If you're actively looking right now, which range are you focused on? 1, 2, or 4 million? Drop that in the comments. It actually helps shape what I break down in future videos. Stepping back, The biggest mistake I see across all three of these price points is buyers expecting a linear progression. They expect more money equals more house. In Greenwich, it's more nuanced than that. At 1 million, you're buying entry and positioning. At 2 million, you're buying balance and competition. At 4 million, you're buying scarcity and long-term alignment. And if you approach all three the same way, you're going to misread the market. The buyers who do well here understand one thing early. You're not just buying a home, you're choosing where you sit in the market. And that decision impacts everything. How you compete, how you negotiate, and how you properly perform over time. So if you're considering buying in Greenwich, Connecticut, the most important step is not just setting a budget, it's understanding what that budget actually represents in this market. Because once you see that clearly, your decisions become more straightforward. If you want more breakdowns like this on Greenwich neighborhoods, pricing strategy, and how buyers are actually navigating this market right now, make sure you're subscribed. And if you are starting to think seriously about your move, reach out when it makes sense. Happy to walk through your specific situation and help you approach this the right way.